Manuete Al, good morning, and how are you, faithful Captain Niner, coming to you with the Captain and Coffee Morning Report for January 18th, 2025, which might possibly be, for those of you on the TikToks, the last time I see your pretty faces on here, and you get to see this bearded beauty. Obviously, we don't know what's going on with TikTok and whether or not it is going to be going down tomorrow or what's going on with it. So, again, I will be posting links in this video for all of my other stuff. And to those of you who are on Blue Sky, hello, how are you? How you doing? This is going to be something that I do every morning for you guys. I do this every morning. Just a quick recap of what's going on here in the Empire. Just like I said, just quick. Usually, typically, these are under 5 minutes. So again, to those of you on TikTok for the inaugural one, hi, how you doing? All right, so let's get into the first thing. 49ers are backing up the Brinks truck, obviously, for Robert Saleh. They want to make him the highest paid DC, which at this point I think is what might be a deciding factor. Yeah, you can be a head coach, but I'm the head coach of the Jaguars. But why do I want to be the head coach of the Jaguars if the Niners will go pay me more and all I am is a DC so I get half the responsibility and more money? So again, we'll see how that goes. Again, where in the world is Robert Saleh going to coach? Game continues to be played out. I want to say today is his interview with the Cowgirls. Don't quote me at 100%. I forget exactly where he is because I'm kind of losing track of every place that he's gone. In other news, it seems to be that Sorensen is going to be the head, or is at least right now the front runner for the special teams coach. I think that's an absolutely abysmal idea. Personally, I would think that I don't want Sorensen in the building. The failure of how bad he was as a defensive coordinator, showing no sort of adjustments, the ability to do anything different than basically run a wide nine. That's all he ran. There was hardly any blitzing, hardly any stunting up front, anything. Just so plain, so boring. If you want to play it that kind of a boring, plain vanilla kind of way, you have to know you have the guys up front. Obviously, at least currently, we do not have the horses up front to kind of, just let those 4 guys go. No, we could get them in the draft or anything like that. But again, back to Sorensen, we need something fresh, something new, whether it be Chris Tabor, Banjo, or for the love of God, go interview John Fossil. At the very least, get the man in the building, talk to him, knock a few ideas around with him, just try and do something. You're one of the best special teams coaches ever. At least do that with him. And a good news for a coaching situation that is not changing, it seems that Brian Griese, quarterback's coach, has decided not to even interview for the New York Jets job, which I think is a great decision on his part, because simply put, the Jets are a disaster of an organization right now. Like I know that there's a saying, you take anything you can get as a head coaching job. There's only 32 of them in the world, but I feel that one set you back. Yeah, Saleh's got another chance, but what could he have done if he had taken, for instance, taken the Lions job when he had the opportunity, taken any other job that he could have taken? He took the Jets. And again, I just think that is a shit show. It continues to be a shit show because apparently they're fucking letting Madden run their GM, their 17-year-old, whether you want to believe that or not. But I mean, it just shows you how much they're just not knowing what the hell they're doing with the Jets, plain and simple. So he's going to be back, and which is a great thing, especially for Brock Purdy, because let's be honest, he's probably the primary person who got Brock ready, especially in his first rookie year. Behind the scenes, getting him up to speed and everything else, while everybody, like Jimmy was working with the first team and all these other things with Trey. He was the one behind the scenes getting Brock Purdy up and ready. So, it's probably a very comfort thing to do with Purdy. And while I do think at some point, especially if Brock Purdy continues development, more and more people are going to be looking at Brian Griese to, be promoted, go to like an OC type of position, maybe even a head coach someday. It's going to get more, his name's going to come up more and more, so I can definitely see this more and more happening. Into some coaching news. George Kittle has been named as one of the 3 finalists for the NFL Salute to Service Award, along with Chargers defensive end Morgan Fox and the Vikings running back Aaron Rodgers. Congratulations to those 3. One of the most prestigious awards that the NFL gives out, and I want to say it's like $50,000 donated, I believe, to the USO. Or something along those lines. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but yeah, like I said, obviously George is probably going to be the team members salute to service for whatever every year until the end of time. We know how George is with the service members and stuff like that. So more than likely, it's going to be George for the Niners until George decides not to be a Niner anymore. And if he ever plays for another team, that's probably going to be his team, So just like our man of the year for the longest time was going to be Eric Armstead every year, just because of the work Eric Armstead did, George has got the salute to service nomination down lockdown. So again, would love to see, obviously it's another award we'd love to see a 49er win this year. And again, it's one of the most prestigious awards, being the Salute to Service Award. And then the last thing to think about today is that the guys over at overthecap.com, they do great things. If you're ever having questions about the cap or anything like that, it's a great source to use. They list some cap casualties, and I don't necessarily agree with all these. So they've got Maliek Collins, Leonard Floyd, Yetur Gross-Matos, Juan Jennings, Juice, and Deebo. I do not know in what world we get rid of Juwan Jennings. Getting rid of Juwan Jennings right now, yes, I think they said he was the only one with guaranteed money. But still, after the season he had, what he has done for this franchise how do I put it? If there was a shining light on this franchise last season, it was Jennings. The type of play, especially in the last game, where Juwan Jennings was out there still setting the tone, still making sure that, everybody's busting their ass, doing everything they need to do. That was him. To get rid of him at this would be a complete and utter mistake. Maliek Collins, I'd be down with him going off. Leonard Floyd, maybe, we'll see. I also think one of the issues that Leonard Floyd had was that he was not a 4-down defensive end. He's a rush down specialist that should only be, he shouldn't have been playing 40 to 50 snaps a game. He should have been down to like 25, 30 at the absolute tops if you're like in a shootout and you're, someone's running, 5 wide receivers constantly kind of thing. But yeah, so because he got much better at the end of the year when his snap count went down. So yeah, Leonard Floyd, depending on how things go. Yetur Gross-Matos, I would like to see back. I definitely would. As far as Kyle Juszczyk is performing, I'm kind of here nor there on it. I bet you he restructures and he takes another lower deal again. As much as I like Juice, we could live without Juice, honestly. Again, there's only like 4 fullbacks in the NFL, so again, not the biggest loss per se, except for like a locker room type thing. And then the one that I know people will fight over left and right is, what do we do with Deebo? Right now, I don't think we're going to trade / drop or cut Deebo. I still think there's something left in the tank. He had numerous injuries last year. I mean, it was to the point that at the end of the year, I had forgotten about the whole pneumonia episode that he had. There was apparently a rib injury he just couldn't get over for weeks and weeks and weeks, couldn't practice. And then, obviously we had the abysmal game where just everything fell off. The wheels just completely fell off. Let's see what happens next week. Next year with Deebo. Deebo is still the probably most, he's still such a niche weapon. And then when we get this back, everybody full healthy and everything like that, I still think Deebo, maybe not necessarily the great weapon that we expected, from like 2020 or 2021, 2022. But I still think there's a niche in there for Deebo to where he could still be a viable weapon on here. All right, everybody. As far as 9 Faithful Radio goes, we got nothing going on for you, I think. Yeah, the next time we actually do a show for 9 Faithful Radio, unless I pop on to somebody else's show here or there kind of thing over the weekend, will be Tuesday. And Tuesday, me and TJ will be going over the complete roster on our Keep or Cut show. So basically we're just going to go down the roster, and everybody who's either an UFA or an RFA, we're going to keep or cut. And, obviously we're not worried about the cap. That's what the guys at overthecap.com are for. Talk to those guys about, whether we can afford these guys or not. All right, Faithful, have a great weekend. Fa Fatai Talava. One love. Hopefully I'll see you guys on TikTok tomorrow. We'll see how it goes for us over the weekend.